And we're back. Max effort bench today, and I am in the basement, not the Strength Edge in Calgary, because there was a delivery that I needed to sign for. The window kept getting pushed back, and then pretty soon I was like, shit, I don't think I'm going to have time to drive into the city to actually go to the gym, so we are down here. Obvious limitation of being down here versus Strength Edge is that we do not have nearly as much equipment, so I got two options I'm going to give myself today. Option number one is if I get done the main work in a relatively time-friendly manner, I might go to the commercial gym to blast off some dumbbell presses and machine work. If not, I'm just going to make the best of it down here. But as far as the max effort work goes this week, with last week being a pretty hefty partial range of motion with the foam roller, I figure I'll go still partial, but a little bit more range. I think I'll go red Elite FTS shoulder saver pad. Gonna work up to something decent enough full range before I get there. Excuse me. And the upside of being in the basement versus being at the gym is that I got my lovely Elite FTS combo rack with the most nice bench pad ever, and I'm gonna feel spoiled benching on this thing because it is freaking sick. So let's get warming up. Limitation of the basement is what camera angles we have available, but it'll work good enough.
What?
Every time Leanna uses the combo rack, it ends up like so crooked in relation to the roof.
How?
I don't know what you do to this thing. Also, shoulder is feeling so much freaking better than last Friday. Not sure if it was just changing things up on Tuesday or if it was actually being diligent enough in my prep work. Probably a little bit of both. Either way, stoked that it doesn't feel like I'm going to die right now. Remembering to pull the bar out far enough makes such a flippin' big difference right now. So like I suck at kilo math, and then we got these pound plates in like kilo sized increments, and I'm just confused as to what is on the bar at all times. Think this is like 225, hopefully. Felt the shoulder the like tiniest bit there with the 225, but it was nowhere near as sketchy as last week where I like had to put the bar back because it felt like my arm was going to explode. So gonna try to get a little bit more locked in and see if we can make 65 feel better.
Good. Good. Yeah.
Way better. All right, 305, more better.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, so pound kilo plate math. Take these guys off, 265. Put this guy on, 335. Reach over here, 345.
Yes. Good. Assertive. Yep. Good.
And I figure with the two of us down here, safety first. We normally don't run the bench safeties because even with them bottomed out, Miana is too diminutive to bench full range. Height check. I can run that higher. Height check 2.0. That's perfect. More pound kilo math. Take that guy off, down to 335. Take that guy off, down to 365, or 265, definitely 265. Add this guy on, 375. And even if It's feeling way better than it was last week. I am really in my head about benching today. And like, because I'm in my head about it and I know I'm kind of being a pansy, that makes me want to take this full range rather than putting the shoulder saver down early.
Good. Perfect. Fuck yeah.
So I wasn't able to overcome the being in my head thing there, because like that wasn't pain, that was just me being scared shitless and not trusting it on eccentric enough to be willing enough to take it down. And like, yeah, I'm in my head today, and like part of that too is like thinking that like if something was to go wrong with just us two down here, it probably would go pretty darn wrong. So I don't know, not thrilled at myself right now for that, but I also know that it is part of the necessary battle of coming back from an injury like this. And like right now, I just got to do something to make this productive. And I think the best thing I can do is drop down in weight, get some reps in, and potentially think about going back up with the shoulder saver, but I'm not going to hold myself to it if the feels aren't good.
Big triceps. Yes. Good. Nice.
It's just like fucking embarrassing. So the problem right now is I'm going into this at limp dick expecting it to be terrifying, so I just gotta not do that. There we go. Let's go, dude.
Elbow. Yeah. Good. Nice. That's it. Elbow. Yes. Go. Looks good. Yeah.
Let's go, fucker.
Yes. Good. Fuck yeah. Go. Fuck yes. There you go.
Yep. I think I want to do it.
Okay, do it.
405.
Assertive. Let's go. Execution. Elbows. Yes. Perfect. Go. Fuck yeah.
Yes! Good puppy. I don't even know what to say about that. Like, to have the day feeling like it was going to go that bad and be able to turn it around into getting over that 405 hurdle, like, it's just cool. And I think that what you guys got to take away from this is that you don't always have to have a day that looks like this. You don't always have to be able to turn it around and make it amazing, but you at least have to give yourself a chance to make it better than it is. And like, if I just ended on some good reps at 265, that would have been a hell of a lot better at quitting than quitting at 375 would have been. If I just, did some reps at 315, that still would have been a hell of a lot better than quitting at 375. But I don't know. I'm glad that I was able to get my head on straight for that. And like, I think it just goes to show the attitude that you approach the bar with coming back from injury is so important, because if you're approaching the bar already afraid of it, you have no chance of it going well. And that's not to say that you can't be nervous, because I was nervous as shit for that 405, but I was also approaching that nervousness with assertiveness. Like I knew I was nervous, so I knew I had to freaking bring it. Whereas the earlier 375, I was nervous and I approached it tentatively because I was nervous, and that really was the difference maker there. I apologize for the rambliness, but I am just like really like that was, yeah. So stoked. Gonna pack up the camera, head to GoodLife, jam on some accessories. So I will see you guys there, and if I don't see you guys there, they probably didn't like me having the camera, so I apologize for that in advance. All right, made it here to GoodLife. Self-consciousness level vlogging in this gym is like 17 out of 10, and I don't have to blow my cover in here because I got a membership at this gym just so I can get on the stair mill a couple times a week, and everyone here thinks I'm just like the fat dude that does cardio, so let's do some dumbbell pressing. Also, problem, they only have one 120-pound dumbbell that I can see, so see if I can find the other one, but if not, guess we're using 115s. Hundos for the warm-up. Can already tell these feel so much better than last week now that the shoulder's not in the way. Yeah, good warm-up. Doing the thing again where I'm talking all quiet because I'm afraid, so let's try to cut that out. I'm just like scanning everywhere to see if I can find that 120, but I do not see it. And I don't feel like going back to single arm dumbbell presses, so 115s, work sets. Let's go. Bap. Even my bap is quieter here. Now, I don't know if these are just light or if like the 405 mental hurdle like unlocked some things for me, but wow, feeling very good. Like digging into the stretch nice. Really good squeeze. Stoked. One more of those. Wandered around and looked for the 120s. Still couldn't find the other one. I mean, like there's one sitting right there, but empty right next to it. So disappointing. Yeah, I'm glad I pulled the trigger coming here. These are feeling very good on the pack. Hard, but like the pack is working well. Out of juice. All right, incline rolling dumbbell extensions. Running incline mostly because I don't want to have to change the camera angle or anything in here. Also, wish I brought chalk because these are slippery. All right, 85s, make this good enough. We're gonna do something cool. Yeah, we're doing something cool. This gym is so funny because I keep like trying to like smile at people when they make eye contact with me, and then they just like straight mean mug back, like what the hell is wrong with this guy? Why is he so fat and red and jolly? But I guess that's commercial gyms versus powerlifting gyms. Anyways, hundos. And rolling dumbbell extensions are another one where I'm okay if they get a little bit sloppy. I'm gonna start by cocking the wrist back, trying to slowly control dumbbells to shoulders, let them roll back a little bit, and then just punch up into the triceps. And really, the goal here is pretty much to just bully my elbows back into being strong again. And like, they are gonna turn into a little bit of a press if you run them heavy enough. The goal is to still keep it as much tricep as you can manage, even when they do get big. And big disadvantage of training here versus strength edge is not got any cool tricep handles to play with, but I don't know, the big V handles giving me high school weight room vibes, so we'll run it. Yeah. Maybe should have brought the gym pin. I don't know, we'll see if I can find something, free pin to put in. Get a little more on here. Yeah, let's go pin hunting. Took some hunting, but we got it. Sketch level, at least medium. Looks like I'll be running higher-ish reps, just so I don't get kicked out of here day one of actually training. Really prioritizing, trying to almost like bicep curl myself in the bottom just to maximize tension with what we got available on these. There we go. Woo. Just so I don't have to move again, figure, oh, that's heavier than I thought it would be after the triceps. Cable delts. Just gonna drop this down. Hardest part about training somewhere different is like how you're used to setting everything up. It's never the same, but good to figure out how to make it happen on weird stuff every once in a while. Gonna get the right side, but not gonna move the camera. All right. One more side delt. Slowing down. Trying to get all squeezy. Oh. I've actually really been enjoying training more delts, mostly because like the visible changes in the mirror have been so dramatic. And no, I'm not ready to take the shirt off for the camera yet, but that'll be after the meet when we're cutting. Nice to meet you too, dude.
Sorry.
You're fine. A little lighter on the fronts, making sure we're not getting too cheated at the bottom. And what I find really productive on these is like if I try to almost reach low and then keep my arm on like as far away from the arc as possible, really helps with feel. And the funniest thing about running delts since the pec surgery is how much better the left side is than the right, but the right side's the side that has had all of the shoulder surgeries, and it's just, I need to do more delt work so that sucker can continue to catch itself up. I'm gonna do another, but I don't think I'm gonna film it. All right, pull downs. Educated guess on what to put the stack at based on how things have felt. We'll see. Yeah. Proof that my lat pulled out at home actually is really heavy because we're going full stack. Hopefully I don't embarrass myself. And I really am wishing like I had chalker straps because these bars are slippery as shit. And not training squats until Sunday this week, so I'm less worried than previous Fridays about overhooking the lats before big squat. And this squat, based on last week, not planning on going super big anyways. And I'm stoked that the area in front of the child-sized dumbbells is cleared out just in time for me to get the curls in. And yeah, based on this, like, either these are light or strength edge is really heavy. I'm going to pretend that strength edge is heavy and these aren't all underweighted. I'm going to go up, but let's get ready some attention. And alternate theory, maybe I just got stronger because 55s is like the I can hardly do it weight at TSE, and we're doing it at least okay. Right, still needs some catching up. Dan Belly hammer curls once again. Ever so gentle elbow push out of the bottom. Again, not trying to swing, but trying to get that elbow that little bit forward to make the leverages all that much nastier as I initiate the curl. Whew. I don't know how to do the left arm. Am I still in frame? We're kind of in frame. That'll work. Oh. Oh. Not going to film it because it would be weird, but for those of you who watched my video on how like movement patterns and technique doesn't matter and how bad technique isn't going to kill you, there is a jacked old dude behind the neck pressing 275 right now, and like it looks a little bit terrifying, but he's like the jacked old dude that looks like he's been doing this for like 40 freaking years, and he doesn't look like he's in pain. His shoulders range of motion is actually very, very, very impressive. And like, the best explanation for that is he's probably been doing them for a very long time, and he's built up a lot of ability in that range of motion, so he's not jacking himself up doing it. And like, honestly, I am jealous that he is able to do that, because I most certainly cannot even come close to that right now. Anyways, back to hammers. And my current conundrum is I don't know what I'm going to do for abs, because there isn't anything good to hook my foot into for the trademark Friday night cable hip flexor raises. So I don't know. When these are done, I'll go for a little tour, see what I can come up with to get something in for abs, hip flexors, all that front side secret spot jazz that I need to make stronger. So we got a row of decline benches here, but like, seeing how it's set up, like at the bottom, hips are going to still end up pretty darn flexed no matter what I do. So I don't really want to do that if I'm trying to get hip flexor into it. But if we look behind me, we got this neato bosu ball leg raise mabobbers. So I don't know, I'm do some bosu ball leg raise mabobbers. This feels like it's going to be a little bit embarrassing. Okay, we're in it. I'm like too wide for the elbow pads. Let me reset. Get this left arm packed in a little bit more. Shove myself in there. Okay. Not perfect, but I do not hate this. Still just gonna go till it gets hard, which is sooner than I was hoping for, but I like that. Gotta like think skinny when like trying to wedge myself into the elbow pads here. All right. Yeah, these are actually sick. Cannot believe I've used a bosu ball twice in 1 week now. Functional fitness at its absolute finest. Embarrassing how fast that gets hard. Like, I think on any day it would be funny training here, but especially like considering that bench session before getting in the car and driving 5 minutes to this place, the juxtaposition in feels between that bench and the feels here, it just like, it made it neat. And like, that bench, it turned out fun. Like, it turned out really, really, really freaking sweet. But in the middle there, it was not fun at all. Like, I was questioning myself on so many levels. And like, it's one thing to back out of a lift because of something physical. Like that I can, get over, and that I can feel more okay about. But backing out from a lift because of the mental side, like I was saying there, that was a little bit embarrassing for a moment on those benches. And when that happens, it's like, you just gotta think, like, what is the problem? What is wrong? What can you do better? And for me, it was literally just how I was going to the bar. And it was literally just the mindset. Like, I was going to the bar expecting it to be scary. And because I was expecting it to be scary, and I was priming myself for it to be scary, it felt that much worse. And when you're doing that, like, you want to try to catch it before you get to the point where I did on those benches, because if you can catch it before that point, you're not going to have to go through the existential crisis I had in the middle of that session. But if you do end up in existential crisis zone, again, like, it's important to just give yourself a chance and just set yourself up to at least be able to do something with the day. And when that happens, I think the best option is to just back down, make it light enough that you know you're going to be safe, and make it light enough that you can show yourself that you still can be assertive. And if it still does feel off, if it still does feel wrong, like, maybe there is something wrong, and maybe it is the right move to shut her down. And that's, again, it's the hardest part coming back from big injury. It's not the physical, it's the mental side, and it's the learning to trust and learning to realize that you are okay and you are going to be safe and that you are able to do something with it. And every time I've had big injuries, there's always been a day like this where I don't think I can do it. And if I can get past that day well, and if I can show myself that I can, it just snowballs from there. And maybe I am getting a little bit ahead of myself with this right now, but the hope is that, like, that bench today was the light switch, the turning point, the learning to be okay with my pec and learning to be okay with the state of the shoulder. And I don't know, I'm just grateful to be here this soon after the surgery, because I did not expect to be back at this point. Like, I would have been happy if I got back to this point in 2 years. So really stoked. Thank you guys so much for joining along for this ride. Appreciate the heck out of all of you. Appreciate the heck out of everyone who is here for the first time. And yeah, stoked to be on the way back. And we're just going to keep this ball rolling and build into the meet.